And now, another Farm to Table with Katie Dixon, brought to you by Farm Families of Mississippi.
Hey guys, it's Chef Katie Dixon here at Birdie's Cafe, and today we're making a delicious breakfast bowl. It's called the Rise and Grind. It's one of my favorites to eat in the morning. So one of our pans we're gonna get on a medium to medium high heat with a little bit of olive oil. And you can kind of build this bowl a little bit of how you want to. So I have two options today. You can have a quinoa in the bowl, or you can have a sweet potato, or you can do like me and I put both starchy carbs in there. So we have some diced sweet potato. This is just one large sweet potato. And you want to make sure when you dice the sweet potato, you're getting it all about the same size so it cooks evenly. I like having just a little crunch on my sweet potato in the bowl, but my kids like a little bit of a more cooked sweet potato. So you can kind of cook it as long as you want to. I cook it about 3 or 4 minutes and then it's ready to go. We've got salt, pepper, and garlic. We're gonna season all layers of this bowl. And I'm gonna add just a little bit more olive oil to the top. There we go. And then in our second pan, we're gonna turn it to just a medium heat, and we're gonna add the rest of the olive oil. And we're gonna get in our leafy greens. So I love starting my morning with some vegetables, and people are like, how do I incorporate so many vegetables into my diet first thing in the morning, Katie? I'm like, if you'll scramble your eggs with some greens, then you're starting your day off right. So we have some kale right here. We're gonna salt and pepper it again, and a little bit of garlic. And I like for the kale just to cook down just for a few minutes before I add in some of the other ingredients. I don't like to add the eggs in too quickly because then the eggs get overcooked and the kale doesn't get cooked enough. So I've got the sweet potatoes in one bowl and I've got the kale in the other. And if you guys aren't big fans of kale, then you can also use spinach in this. I have several customers at the cafe that come in and they love spinach. I like the crunch that the kale brings to it and a little different nutrient profile than the spinach. We're gonna add a little bit more oil to the top of both of these. Give it a good stir, and then we're gonna add in our other ingredients. So you can build this however you like. My favorite way is to add a little bit of quinoa. You cook quinoa just like you do rice. I like adding in some tomatoes, but most importantly, a little sweet potato hash is my favorite. So we're gonna grab about 4 eggs and break those in with our kale once that kale has been cooking. So once we add our eggs to the pan, again, we're gonna season and layer in the flavors just a little bit more. We're gonna give our sweet potatoes a little stir, and then we're gonna make sure we scramble those eggs. All right, once we have our eggs and our kale cooking, our sweet potatoes are almost finished cooking, we're gonna add in our tomatoes, and then we're gonna also make our honey sriracha. So we have some honey and we have some sriracha. I'm gonna add a little bit of sriracha in with the honey. I think y'all have grown to know me over the years and know that I love a sweet and spicy on the top of everything, yes, including my breakfast. So we'll add just a little drizzle of this over our egg bowl at the end. So you wanna make sure you don't walk away from this pot very often or for very long because it cooks up really, really quickly. And you wanna make sure those eggs stay really nice and scrambled. So we've got our tomatoes, our eggs, our kale. Now we're gonna add just a little bit of quinoa. Quinoa is the only grain that's a complete protein, so I like just adding a little bit of a different texture into this breakfast bowl, and it's really filling. And our kale and egg and tomatoes and quinoa is almost finished. We have a couple more minutes on our sweet potatoes, then we're gonna add it in and make one big delicious breakfast bowl. I love making this for my girls in the morning. I love making it sometimes at night for an easy dinner. So we're gonna have this yummy egg scramble. We're gonna top it with a little bit of our honey sriracha. And this delicious Rise and Grind breakfast bowl, I hope you enjoy making it, and I hope it powers you through your hardest of days. From my heart to your table, Rise and Grind bowl from right here at Birdie's Cafe.
Find this recipe and more at WDAM.com/farm-to-table.